Herschel. He probably voted for Herschel.
Yeah, Trey definitely. He voted for Herschel. He down with J.C. Watts, Allen Keys. he with all that.
I know, wow, man.
So the word on the street down here is like it was basically going to be shaky regardless.
Right.
So I think Nate was going to be out of here. If not, he was going to be out at the end of the season regardless.
Right.
But
right.
really, it was the preemptive strike to keep Trey from asking to get traded.
Mm-hmm.
Is really what the word is. So yeah, man. So that's Trey.
Trey Young on that Herschel Walker time, man.
Yeah, man. Trey with it.
Oh man.
What's
Trey
my guess?
Trey out here like Uncle Ruckus.
No. That's oh man.
With the Revilla Lago.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Talk to us, Big Shot. What's good, man?
Listen, man. We back. Gave y'all a little time off, 2 weeks off. It's now the race to the finish. Each team got about 25-ish games remaining in the season. The playoffs are, if my math is correct, as of this Saturday coming up, I think we are 7-8 weeks out from the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Layman's, keep it simple. We less than 2 months, man. Time waits for no man. So here we are, 94 feet of life, the race to the finish. You should be subscribed to the YouTube, notifications on. In the Facebook group, 94 feet of life is the Facebook group. How's everyone's all-star break? 2 weeks off, man, before we get into the hoop. How's everybody doing? Trav in the building. Ham will be joining us shortly. Coach Les join us as well. What's going on, fellas?
I just want to shout out the fact that Brad Daugherty won the NASCAR 500 during Black History Month as the first Black owner to win. No coincidence, it also was my first Daytona 500 as well, living in Daytona Beach, Florida. I'm not saying I had something to do with it, but I'm just saying it felt good to be part of history.
But you are saying you had something to do with it.
That's neither here nor there.
That might sound like Rex. He didn't get away with it. But he didn't get away with it.
So, we may have lost the dunk contest, but now we're taking over NASCAR.
Yeah, shout out Brad. I know Brad would have been like on NASCAR commentary for a while. Right. I didn't know he actually owned a team. So shout out to Brad, man.
He been doing it. He been there for a minute though. He been
there
for a long time.
Proud of him, man.
Listen to him talk.
Oh yeah, Brad. Oh yeah, Brad country. Yeah, be clear.
There is life. There's life after basketball.
Absolutely. It shows you, man, you get involved in other things. You ain't got to necessarily go be somebody, try to get one of them front office jobs or try to get one of them TV jobs,
Right.
If you find something else, and I'm all for it. Trav, how was your break, man? What's going on?
Everything good, man. I was really looking forward to the 3-point contest. Kind of missed it, but I seen the highlights of it. And Dane put on a show for Weber State. Dane put that Weber State jersey on and went to work.
Listen,
went to work, man. I mean, he did exactly what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to win it. He beat out who that Hallenberg and his
Buddy.
Yeah.
teammate
He got out
Buddy.
the
He got
Pacers.
Buddy too.
So
He
why are the
beat the two
Pacers so
Pacers.
bad? Why are the Pacers so bad?
We're gonna talk about that. What's going on with the Pacers? Dame, man. You know, I know it's always a topic in our group. Why won't Dame leave? Da, 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 da. I don't care about that. Dame, and I know we talk about the great, like 6'3" and under players ever. Dame is one of them. Like, Dame has scored this way pretty much for about the last, like, 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Other than his rookie year, maybe, Dame has been this guy forever. He just, man, he gonna be one of them guys that we look back, fellas, when we look at people's careers in totality, when they finish playing, we're gonna be like, damn. Dame was something else.
One of them dudes that would be missing would be team glory. All the personal stuff he's pretty much done. You know, he's all NBA dude, all-star, Olympian. You know, he ain't won a scorer title, but he's an elite level scorer.
Oh yeah, he can score. Yeah.
Yeah, he's an elite level scorer. But you know, it's stuff like he kind of go like in that AI category.
AI,
Yeah.
he's the guard version. The guard version
We talk pound for
Yep.
we talk pound for pound. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's just as good as anybody you want to throw up.
guard version of Carmelo Anthony.
That's a good one too. Yeah, he just continues to score, man, and shout out Dame. Ham, as we get ready to go to this last 25 games, this last third of the season, kind of what are you looking at? Are you looking at some of the playoff races? If somebody could pull up the standings real quick, that'd be kind of helpful. Ham, are you looking at the playoff races? Are you looking at the buyout guys? What are you kind of keeping your eye on right now?
Honestly, March Madness.
We're going to get into that too. Speaking of race to the finish.
I was locked in more into that over the weekend, the college hoops, and I watched the Elimination Chamber on Saturday night as opposed to All-Star Saturday. Just twist it up a little bit different. But it's like after we get past the Super Bowl, it's like instinctually here. All right,
yeah.
March.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of March, you know. And it's like the trade deadline, All-Star weekend. Okay, cool. I revisit that somewhere like in between Selection Sunday and Wednesday evening before the turn. You know what I'm saying? But just in general, the race itself, more or less to see how the final standings will pull up, in which I got them.
I got it up right here. So whatever you need.
So I'm gonna put the call out right now. G2, if you're listening, or if you watch us on a replay, we're gonna need you back in about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We're gonna need you back in about 3 weeks. He got to come outside. He got to come outside about 3 weeks.
I think Selection Sunday is March 12th.
That man's still out there testing popcorn, man. He need to be here.
Yeah, popcorn power rankings. Our man G2. We're gonna get into Mark, but remind me, we're gonna come back to that because there are two teams I have found, because I've been kind of watching and stuff. I have found my two teams for this year.
And we got breaking news on one of the top teams as well. So
yeah,
from Alabama with the pistol.
Yeah,
I know.
That's
unbelievable.
That's ugly.
Unbelievable.
You talk about your life just swinging like that. Craziness. But let's get into it. So let's start with some of the buyouts. We got Westbrook to the Clippers, Patrick Beverly to the Bulls, Will Barton was bought out today.
Ooh.
Was bought today. Kevin Love is going to Miami. John Wall, still no sign about John Wall, but I'll say this. The Will Barton one is actually the most intriguing to me. Because I think of all those guys, he's the one that has the most left to give. I think he's the one that can most help somebody. So
Yeah.
Go ahead, Les.
When you brought up the Will Barton buyout, because he's playing a position that is wholeheartedly needed to make a late run, make a strong push.
Mm-hmm.
Super important. We know Westbrook, Hall of Famer, top 75, buyout, Clippers, great. Pat Bev going back to the homeland to try to help the Bulls, great. Kevin Love, free Kevin. Kevin free. We can say it back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And look, he deserves in a deserving place like Miami. It's a wonderful place. It's wonderful. But Will Barton can, and this is what I take. I think Will Barton, if I'm Mark Cuban, I'm getting Will Barton on the phone. Now. Because think about what they gave up to get Kyrie. Because they lost Finney, right? And Spencer. And I think Will can come in and give them that same role. And I love it. I love Will Barton to the Mavericks. So if anybody in the Mavericks organization is listening, go get Will Barton. Because now you can have somebody on that perimeter that's going to be able to help guard. Because you know your two ball dominant players, they gonna carry a heavy load. So Dallas Mavericks get Will Barton.
Trav, was there a buyout that you liked? You said, "Hey, this one, this is whether it helps somebody or whether it's just intriguing."
I'm just happy that Cleveland did the right thing, man. Don't use Kevin Love as a vet, man. Kevin Love can still play. Don't use him as that Udonis Haslam vet. Nah, don't do him like that. He need to play in Miami. He need to be in there. He need to play. He need to be in there. He need to play. Udonis Haslam is that vet. Let him be that. He need to play. So I mean that was the one that I was just happy about because that Cleveland squad is good. Don't get it twisted. They are good. Yeah. I don't see why he was just set down like that. They could have used him. But I mean, I'm just happy for Kevin Love. And he need to be in Miami, he need to be playing.
Han, was there a buyout that you was intrigued by or something you thought that could work out, could be interesting?
I guess Russ, and the fact that shit ain't gonna work. and if I'm wrong, it's on wax. I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like it's no knock at Russ. It's just one of those deals where it's like it's intriguing that since he won MVP, just the way the escalator, if you will, just kind of I don't even want to say escalator. He on some type of he on a different type of a carousel. You think about it, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, he went from Oklahoma City where he was that dude to Houston where he shared part-time and being that dude. Then they end up being in the bubble, which kind of made it really ugly. Then where he go after that? He went to DC, right?
Mm-hmm. Washington. Yeah.
Okay, then he ended up being a Laker for about 14 months? Some crazy. Yeah, something to that effect, a year and a half. And now he's still in that lane. So it's like
They trying to ship that man to Utah though.
I didn't even want to bring up that part, especially in this month with Les on the scene. I don't want Les to get himself in no trouble. To get throw no Alice for my man Les to get himself in no trouble. Do this, and we ain't got 30% Hotep around right now, so it's one of them. We just gonna keep
I'm
cool.
45. I'm 45 right
now. You see, we really don't need above 30 cents. Just to be honest.
45.
37 is kind of even balance. Keep it cool, right?
It's like an old record. Don't play it on 30. Play it on 33. Don't play it on 45.
Keep it right there. You know what I'm saying? And so, but because see, while it may not work, I'm one of those that look at playoff series like, yo, how much stress was involved in? Especially when we talking going 5, 6, 7. And Russ is a roller coaster of stress, one way or another.
It's crazy.
Makes for great television.
It's crazy with Russell because if you look at him, like we see players get older, right? Like any great player, when they get older, you can see athletically there's stuff they can't do like they used to.
Right.
Just as they don't run as fast, they don't jump as high, not as strong. Russell athletically is really there's no difference. But his skill level has just kind of I don't know if his skill level even declined. But his skill, I think, has declined. And I think what's happened is he presses. And Coach Les coaches it, and you watch him, he just forever, he presses. And everything is in a hurry.
Trying to.
It's like you face reality. After all this time, you finally face reality.
Okay. I'm going to say this. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I would not say his skill level declined. I won't say that. I would say the lack of skills needed to play in this NBA is hurting him. For the simple fact that he's playing in position, we just seen one of them win the 3-point contest. We have another one that's arguably the best shooter ever to play the game. And you can argue with his teammate. And we there's a kid, Trey Ruckus down in Atlanta. That position, because when Westbrook came into the league, that position was him, D Rose, John Wall, Kyrie, like all those
athletic.
Those were his contemporaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was always talk, Russ is better than Steph. Russ is better than Steph because he truly, truly was. Like if we walked into a gym and we had to pick up, and in 2009, I'm picking Russell Westbrook. I'm not picking Steph Curry first. That's the truth. And so, but the position has made it to where you got to be able to shoot the rock at that position, because now you got people switching everything. People are switching everything. You got people, on how they go out and pick and roll. So the coverages. So now it's like we don't have to. We can go under. We go under on him. We playing the drop. We're not worried about him shooting that mid range that much. We just got to stop him from getting to the paint. And I think his role with the Lakers was pretty good when he started coming off the bench, because he was actually facilitating. Of course, he's gonna rebound because he play 100 miles an hour. He's gonna but he's not. He can't shoot the ball well, and that's where it's at.
You know what's so funny about this Russ move? What's funny is he went across the hall, and if the playoffs start today, Big Shot, Guess who they'll play against?
Who?
The Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns.
First rush for KD
Exactly.
matchup. Years late, but it's still intriguing. It's intriguing as hell. Because you don't know who's going to be available and how long they're going to be available. If they, God's will, they'll be available for the home game. Everybody. You know what I'm saying? Just for everybody involved. I mean, because what they got left? Total game. Let's see.
It's about 25 more games.
Everybody got about 25.
It's about 25 more games.
20 to 25 for the most
part. Right.
And it's from 3 through
3, you got a separation of
3 through like 13.
I'm looking at 10. I'm looking at from 10 to 3. It's basically a 4-game separation.
But then 11 to 12, a half game back.
Exactly.
10. Man, I don't know how to figure this thing out except watch.
That's all you can do. That's all we can do at this point.
So Trav, let me go to you.
Yeah.
And Hams talked about Phoenix. My question to you is there going to be enough time for Phoenix to get themselves acclimated with each other to make this run that everyone now is saying you have to make because you got Paul, Booker, Durant together? But is there going to be enough time for them to get themselves together?
Even pros need time. Even pros need time. I totally understand the talent level there. They have one of the best, like, core 4 groups, 4 players, I mean. They got one of the best core 4 groups in the NBA today. They have the best. I'm talking about you got from Aiden to Chris Paul to KD to D Book. I honestly think they got one of the best core 4s in the game. But again, it takes time. It's going to take time. So I don't know, Big Shot. I don't, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough.
Coach Les, you kind of shook your head like, I don't know. Does Phoenix have enough time?
It would all be predicated on a certain person to make it all work. That's just
Who's the certain person, Coach?
Well, it's an extension of the coach on the floor. And so
But
he would have to make it work.
yeah.
It was ultimately can't dribble the ball 17 seconds of the shot clock. I mean, the ball is going to have to move. It can't stick. It can't stick. It can't stick. I'll put it to you like this. I take that back. The ball can stick in 2 people's hands. It cannot stick in just one person's hand. And all right, forget it. I'm not. Chris Paul can't dominate the ball like he did when he was with the Clippers when they had all that time.
Of course.
He cannot dominate the ball. You got 2 of the most prolific scorers in the league. You got one of the best back to the basket threats in the league. Give up the ball. Don't try to manipulate stuff. Don't try to just get the ball to Kevin Durant, get the ball to Devin Booker, get the ball to DeAndre Ayton. Like, point guard, be a point guard and make things happen. Okay? Don't need to do it. Lost chance. Like everybody, Chris Paul deserves it. You know what? Chris Paul put itself in position to have great teams. Those Clippers teams, you cannot tell me that the 2015 Clippers was better, that they weren't better than the 2015 Golden State Warriors. You can't tell me that. You cannot tell me that.
I will tell you that because they didn't ever beat them motherfuckers.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. But I'm talking about if we go up the roster.
I feel you though.
Because come on, man, I'm taking DeAndre Ayton over Andrew Bogut all day. Blake Griffin. No, nobody's really. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I said. Like there are things that they should have been able to. They should have been able to beat them. They should have been able to take care of them. You know what I'm saying? But it goes back to the head on the snake.
Got to get off that rock, Chris Paul. Got to get off that rock.
He's gonna have to get off the rock. Like at the end of the shot clock, as Coach Les point out, only two people should have the ball at the end of the shot clock, and that's 35
and 1.
That's it.
35 and 1 at the ball at the end of the clock.
Is he going back to wearing 35?
Yes.
Yeah, he's going back to 35.
I think he was more happy being 35.
Trey 5, Slim Reaper.
Now, go ahead.
Yeah, and the thing about it is they gotta let Monty be Monty, man. They gotta let that man lead. They can't like DeAndre Ayton, whatever they say. What they say it's a rift between them two. Ayton, let that man coach you. Let that man that man you, DeAndre Ayton, you grew up watching Tim Duncan, wanting to aspire to try to be like Tim Duncan. That man coached Tim Duncan. I believe they were teammates for a short period of time. Like let him put that in you. Pause.
Now, Ayton is the one that is going to be interesting to see what happens. Because as you talked about, the ball's got to move around. He's the one I'm the most worried about if he don't get touches. Now, he's been averaging about 19 a game since this trade happened. Now, KD obviously hasn't been there. But Ayton has been near 20 and 10 since the trades happened. And I think if what he has to concentrate now is he may not get post touch, right? Like they may not throw you the ball on the box. But when you got three guys who are that good in pick and roll, he'll get 18 points by accident.
Right.
Just roll into the basket, have your hands up. He'll get 18.
Should be no plays called for him.
You're right. He could be on like Cedric Sabat, like a big Cedric Sabalos back in the day. Cedric Sabalos get 20 a game, he don't call play for him the entire game.
No. Get the rebound, put that mug back, or get the rebound, get down the floor, and get the ball in the middle.
Yeah.
Screen roll action.
Yeah.
He got the guest star on every single doing this shit. That's some cold shit.
Yeah.
Black History Mama right here. Black History Mama right here on 94 Feet of Light. We drop all the hits.
Now, staying in the West Ham, I want to go to you, and then everybody jump in. So we talk about the team that stayed together. No big move. Memphis and Denver, Memphis and Denver right now, who are 2-1 in the West.
Mm-hmm.
Denver looks like they probably are going to hold on to the 1 seed. I think they have like a 5-game lead as we're taping this.
Yes.
They'll probably hold it. Memphis will probably hold it too. They had an advantage because they're together. And they didn't make a move.
That's one way of looking at it. Cohesiveness, continuity. But a bad matchup is a bad matchup.
So let me hand right there. Who is the bad matchup for Denver?
I see it. I was just waiting on you to say it.
Phoenix, if they rolling, definitely is. And that's potentially a second round, Joy, if they don't have to deal with Kawhi now, which could be some problems there too. I don't know, Denver's just long. LA long, and they got like real hoopers with the Clippers that is. Kawhi's just 6'6", but he's 6'10" with the stretch. Yeah, it's just that with that. Paul George is Paul George. Minnesota in the first round could be some fun for Denver.
You got one more.
Golden State, of course, just
When
they
healthy,
know how.
when healthy, that team, Golden State, that 1-8, Golden State as an 8 seed.
Oh yeah, yeah. Excuse me. Golden State is an 8 is a problem
What?
for real. That's a problem.
I got
I
somebody.
mean, Minnesota can be held too.
Minnesota gonna play them tough, but they'll beat Minnesota.
They'll
They'll beat
beat
them.
Minnesota.
They'll beat them. What you about to say, Worldwide?
I'll say the Pelicans.
If healthy.
If healthy.
I danced around them because I'm like, motherfucker might not be healthy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this, and it's a conversation I think when we get to the off season more is that as this is 1 year for Brandon Ingram, okay. But there's a real conversation about Zion. Because now it's 4 years in a row. And eventually, now he got the money, thankfully. But there's got to be a conversation about what are you going to do with him? Because 4 years is now a pattern. But that's another discussion. But to your point, a healthy New Orleans is tough. I think the West playoffs, again, for like the 100th year in a row, the West playoffs, I think, are going to be really intriguing. Their matchups up and down their board.
Yes, sir.
A series that nobody would really talk about that you wouldn't think off the top. Oh, that would be fun.
3-6.
What if you end up with Sacramento against
3-6
in the first round? And yes, Sacramento young, they haven't been there, but they, despite everything that's happened, they have held this. They've been a top 4 team pretty much for about 3 months. And Fox and Sabonis, and they play hard. They play together. It's hard to say a tough first round opponent is the 3rd seed, but Sacramento will be trouble for whoever they get.
That culture has changed, Big Shot. That culture has changed.
He's coach of the year for me.
Yeah. Just keep them damn cowbells out there, Rick.
Hey, I don't want to be that guy, but I'm about to be that guy. Y'all, if we can go back on wax.
You said it.
Yeah.
On our pre-show. I said it on our pre-show. Because, people say what they want to about Mike Brown, but Mike Brown knows how to coach winning basketballs.
Yeah.
And Ham will know this. Ham will know this, but how many coaches have actually won NBA championships? Right?
It ain't a lot.
Right?
It ain't a lot.
It ain't been a lot.
Because we know of 3 that's living today that got 5 or more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's Pat, Phil, and Pop. So we know of three that are living and have a combined
Right.
21.
And then Kirk got 4.
And he got 4. So that's 25 championships split between 4 coaches.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So in that aspect, so people, he couldn't win with LeBron, he got swept, all this. The man know how to coach winning basketball. He knows how to lead. He's a tactician. Great energy. So and I'm not to take nothing away from those guys, because you got 2 all-stars. You got a great culture guy that you drafted him when everybody was kind of, well, why would you draft Davion Mitchell when you got De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton? And I know this for a fact. I know this for a fact because it was told to me, because I asked the same question, and this person told me, it was like, nah, they want winners over there. They want to improve their culture over there. That's why they got off night. You know, and so he's there. Everybody looked at him funny when they traded Halliburton, but it was a method behind the madness of why they did it, why they got rid of Halliburton and Buddy Hield. Then you bring in Mike Brown. Then you bring in the young boy Keegan Murray. Like, so now you're building. Sacramento is going to look different for the next few years. It's going to look different in Sacramento. Like, so, surprise team of the year, coach of the year, and I'm excited to see Swiper in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see Swiper in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. I think you're right, Les. I think that's the one of them rare traits that works for everybody. Everybody got what they wanted. That Halliburton for Sabonis, the Halliburton Sabonis. Everybody out there. And so I'm looking for this. Speaking of Indiana, let's flip it over to the East.
Mm-hmm.
To me, the East playoff really rides basically on 2 things for me. And that's Joel Embiid's foot and Giannis's wrist. I think, I don't know, I'm not gonna say this is going out on a limb. And I there's a real chance I could be let down again. I think if Embiid and them are upright come playoff time, as well as Boston has played all year, and they've been tremendous, I really like Philadelphia if Embiid is Embiid when we get to the playoffs. Now, he may not be Embiid with the foot, but he's a guy that's entered that stage.
Big Shot and kind of froze up on us a little bit, but I think I think what he talking about Embiid, if he's healthy, he's a monster. I mean, don't y'all agree with that? He's a monster that nobody can mess with.
Nah, he one of them dudes that he can put his crew on his back and carry them through a series.
He's a monster.
You get 2 wins with him carrying.
Exactly.
You know, but you don't want to have to do that.
Right, because they're too much.
And if you have to do that with Milwaukee, then it becomes much. It could, at least, anyway. Just because Milwaukee got the depth to throw everything at them. But this is when you're going to be.
Somebody got to get out of the strip club.
That's what I'm about to say. You're going to need, like, young Oklahoma City James Harden.
Mm-hmm.
James Harden from like a decade ago.
But you know what's crazy?
Got it back.
He averaging 21 and 10.
Still averaging 21 and 10.
Right.
That's the
He averaged
crazy
21
part
and 10.
about it.
Right.
And,
Right.
and you know what? And I'm not trying to go BBN crazy right now. But it's just so many of them in the league. Anywho, and so many productive ones in the league, I should say. But Tyrese Maxey, just let him go. And I think him and James are starting to like click some. You know, I think it's starting to like, because remember when James got there, Maxey was still like little dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now Maxey done had some games and he done put up some performances.
Right.
And you know, he's really one of them. I think
Right.
now it gets to a point where like they gotta just let him be one of them. Let little bro do the heavy lifting. He ain't nothing but 15 anyway.
Max is he just out there just having fun playing ball. He
so
his Jordan Poole, man. He on his Jordan Poole.
So let Tyrese Maxey gonna have to win them some games. He gonna have to have games where he put up a double-digit quarter in the playoffs for them to win. Like, just go ahead, ride the young fella, pause. Just let him do his thing. And then, you know, you can, you know, then when it's time to close it out, that's when you got James, you got
Embiid.
You got your, you know, let's let them do that. Let the road guys be the road guys. Tobias, whatever you get from him, you get from him.
That's who I be tripping off of.
Tobias, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I was very high on Tobias when he came out of high school. When he came out of high school, when he went to Tennessee, when he first started in the league, you know, he kind of bounced around a little bit. But I need Tobias Harris to stop doing his best Harrison Barnes 2016.
He is doing Harrison Barnes 2.0. He's that.
Sorry about that. I had to update the Zoom.
You good?
Tobias can hide. And he can just kind of stand in the corner, just kind of wait for the ball to come to him. If it comes to him, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And to Les's point, he got to stop doing that. That's start doing that.
Because we got to think about it. Tobias was damn near all-star caliber.
Yeah. In Orlando.
He was almost, I mean, when he got over to Philly, he was all-star caliber. And he's not doing what he needs to do. And you know what's gonna happen with Tobias though? This is what's gonna happen. And I'm gonna throw some shade because it needs to be thrown because ain't nobody else doing it. The way Tobias playing, and he free agent this summer, right? I believe so.
Maybe that's or next year, I think.
He's gonna end up signing with the Bulls. That's what's gonna happen. Tobias is on his way to signing with the Chicago Bulls.
Tobias, he like Jeff Green. Like, I come to work, you getting these 15 points. I'm going to the crib.
Going to the crib, watch Law and Order or some shit.
Yeah, I'm going to watch.
Like he watched Law and Order, Criminal Intent. The only one he watched.
He gonna be on FaceTime with Boban.
Boban learning new TikTok dances and shit.
Now, Trav, you are, if I remember right, you tell me you pretty tough on, you pretty high on Boston, right?
Boston is right now. Boston is clicking on all cylinders, Big Shot. They clicking on all cylinders. I don't think they're throttling down anytime soon. They're not throttling anytime soon. You basically have the number one player. I mean, okay. Of course, y'all know Jokic is Jokic. Giannis is Giannis. Luka is Luka. And Embiid is Embiid. But that doggone Jason Tatum is 6'8". Yes, he's 6'8", worldwide. He's 6'8".
No, he's 6'10".
He ain't 6'10" no more. He's 6'8". Ever since he been announced that he been 6'8" on the program, that man been putting in major work. He been putting in major work. Major work. Ain't nobody stopped it. He doing what he want, how he want, when he want to do it. And when JB7 go to work, that just make it even worse. It makes it even worse.
And Ham a historian, he respected. Them two guys play really 19. They got 2022 skill level, but they play real 1989.
And I dare you to send two at their ass. Because they got hitters that's going to spray. I'm talking about they spraying like rerun at Bardell Hill House. Probably get sprayed.
Hey, Econo spray paint.
They got.
Check this out. Before we go any further.
No, you got it.
I was talking to somebody and they were saying like, those two don't play well with each other because they don't seem to pass the ball to each other. I'm like, hold up. I had to literally like just break this down. I'm like, okay.
One of them got 30, the other one got 27.
One of them has, yeah, exactly. That was first mentioned.
They don't play well with each other because they don't pass it to each other.
And you want to know why if they don't pass it to each other? Because if you leave one of them, they're going to make you pay. So a man has to stick there. So that's why their others are standing out, like a Grant Williams, like a Al Horford, like a Marcus Smart, like a White, like you name it. Williams slashing, 44 Williams slashing, getting the dunk. You got the other white dude that's coming out of nowhere, jumping their balls that's 80 feet away from him, still making folks miss 3-pointers. He's out there. They're not going to pass the ball to each other because their primary defender is not going to lead them. You're paid to stay on them. If you leave, you should be fired.
They've got the way their team built, and Ham, I want you to jump in there. I think they have the best built team.
Yes.
Yeah, like if you said we constructing a roster, JB, you got double trouble on the wings. They got the perimeter defenders with Brogdon, Smart, and Derek White. You got the rim protector, Rod Williams. Mm-hmm. Got the double glue guys in Horford and Grant Williams. Like, that team is put together so well that as much as I do like Philly, what Philly's doing, Boston's first 8 are
fucking problem. Real. They're a problem, man. And run back all what Trav just broke down. Like I said, you got one of them averaging 30, the other was like 26 with them. But what you say, Trav, they say they don't play that well together.
They don't pass the ball to each other.
They don't pass the ball to each other, but they're 42 and 17 doing what they do.
Do y'all remember this famous line? And I'm gonna shout him out. Maybe I shouldn't, but I am, because this is the truth. Remember when Theo said he wasn't gonna go to college and all that, right?
Yeah, I already know where you're going. Bill
Cosby, Cliff Huxtable said, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Dude.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard about Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They don't play well together because they don't pass the ball to each other.
They're 42 and 17.
They got 3 other guys on the court that pass it to them. Brogdon pass it to you. Derek White.
Not too long ago, this was a couple of years ago. Shout out to my guy Buck. If you're watching, I appreciate it. But I had to break down to him as far as Boston playoff road woes. Y'all remember that? I had to break it down. Like, Boston can win, but they have lost more games that they on the road that they have won, and they'll never win that way. Oh, not this team.
They showed you that last year, though.
They went to
Not this
Milwaukee.
team.
Didn't
Not
they
this
win
team.
3
Not
times?
this team last year and the year before. And the year before that. Not this team.
Didn't they win 3 times in Milwaukee in the playoff series this year?
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
They went to Miami, won 2 games. They went to Milwaukee, won 2 games.
Oh, it took the first one in San Fran.
Sure did.
So I think the East, that Brooklyn trade made the East a 3-team. It's a 3-team race in the East. It's Boston, Milwaukee, Philly.
I don't even know if y'all saw it on the promo video, but y'all know y'all had the quote bubbles up there. But on today's one, you know I had to set the shot at the Knicks. You know I had to say, I almost sent the one that left Trav too for Jimmy B, but I was like, nah, I ain't gonna eat that. I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna leave it alone.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the rest of the East, the Knicks, Miami,
Right.
Who else we got? Indy.
I mean,
Cavs, you got the Cavs. You got the Cavs at 4.
Yeah, I watched the series.
Now the Cavs will make somebody's second round series go longer than it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
They'll make you less of boxing guys. A fight that's supposed to fight that should go 8 rounds end up going 11 or 12.
That's likely will be Boston.
Yeah.
That likely will be against Boston. That could be fun. Marcus Smart, Donovan Mitchell.
Yes.
That kind of
They just, the thing about it, they will make, I think, if you want to watch traditional basketball and follow positions, that will be a good game.
That's Cleveland. Yeah. That's Cleveland.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Exactly.
You remember the old school video games where on the video game it would say SG underneath the That's Cleveland. SGSFPFC.
And you can't even put a guard at that spot. You gotta put a power forward at that spot or whatever it may be.
Oh, that's so crabby.
That's Cleveland. When you substitute, Trav, you got to put a point guard at the point guard
spot.
Don't try nothing funny.
Can't do it.
So look, we're gonna wrap up a little bit. Shout out to our man Lawrence Cleveland. He's the people's champ for the night with that first question on the buyouts. But before we get out of here, fellas, we want to let's preview a little bit of March Madness. G2, we looking for you. Don't be. I know you out there styling and profiling like you always do. Make some time for us in about 3 weeks. Coach Les, I'm gonna go to you and I go to Ham. And I know we say this a lot of years, but I really feel it this year, legit. I really feel like this is one of the first times, fellas, where I can say in a few years, I have no clue who gonna win this tournament. Like 2 years ago, I was pretty confident it was Baylor, Gonzaga, or Michigan. It's one of them 3. Last year, I was pretty sure. I wasn't sure that Kansas was going to win. I was pretty sure Kansas was going to be one of the last 4. But this year, it's Houston 1 week. Then I feel good about Kansas another week. I feel good about Purdue about 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I don't feel that great about Purdue. And then we talk about the ill situation with Alabama, where the best player on the team is gone now because of his involvement in that in that murder case, I'm not asking y'all to pick Final Four. I'm going to go Les Ham Trav, but is there a team that you feel good about? Like, when I say feel good about, I'm saying Elite Eight or better.
I feel good about Houston because of the way they defend. And I think it's time. I think the simple fact of the matter is they have a chance to do something, to go to 2 Final Fours in 3 years, and the Final Four is in Houston.
In Houston.
I'll be outside. But there's a surprise team. I do have a surprise team, and I'm not being biased or anything like that. But after watching them play probably about 6 or 7 games this year, don't be shocked if Kansas State make a deep run.
Yeah.
Don't be shocked. The energy over there is different. It's different. Don't be shocked by Kansas State. Kansas is Kansas. I would never count Bill Self out in the month of March. You know, I mean, they just snuck up and won last year.
Right.
They just thought it was like, oh yeah, they rolling. Next thing you know, yes, they won, and you tend to forget who won the championship.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. You don't even know who won last year.
So, you know, I them, and then it's probably the first time in a long time that I have not been confident in Kentucky making it.
Yeah.
Opening week. It's the first time in a long time. And I can tell you this now. Purdue has a chance. It's hard for me to just say Purdue for sure.
Yeah.
Tennessee. If I had to choose, 2 of my Final Four teams would be Houston and Kansas. Those are 2 of my Final Four teams right now. And a lot of things have changed. Since the beginning of the year. If you would have asked me this in November, December, I would have wholeheartedly, with full confidence, mentioned UConn and Arkansas. And now I can't even talk about it.
Ham, up to you.
First thing first, I'm not doing one of the weekend bracket challenges. I just want to make that abundantly clear off the top. Not doing the joint. Faith-wise, I have no faith. It's March. You can be done 40 minutes or less. But Houston, just because they are 27 years old, grown men, usually win in this thing. Like Les said, Kansas. I just watched Kansas State beat Baylor. You know what I'm saying? I've been watching a lot of Kansas State hoops this year. They are a solid squad. I couldn't even begin to even set a skeleton for a Final Four.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna watch.
Brad, what you think?
I wouldn't know until I make 4 copies of the bracket. I'm going to make 4 copies. I'm gonna make the one that I like to see. I make the one that I don't know. The other 2 I just don't know, and then it's gonna be the one that's gonna actually follow. So I don't know. If
Well,
when we
I got a
first when we
question
first
about
got when we first got on here, when we first started talking about college basketball, North Carolina was such the favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they made me look
North Carolina
stupid.
was such the favorite. I just seen them got smacked in the face by North Carolina State.
Yeah,
When we were here in November, we were all like,
Carolina was well put together.
Yeah.
But you know what? Here's the crazy thing about North Carolina.
they can't
Do you
defend.
want to let that type of team in? Because they get in, they start turning up.
like they did last year when
Like
they
they
were
did.
Like they did last year.
Exactly.
they were broke.
So, I mean, who knows? I mean, Kentucky has let me down so much, but then we turn around and beat Tennessee. But yet
Twice.
turn around and twice. We own Tennessee this year. But see, let us play them in the SEC tournament. We'll act a fool and won't play right.
I got a question about the copy machine, Trav. Would
Yeah.
this be the same copy folks that you blamed in Oklahoma City that's providing?
No, we ain't got one of them. No, we ain't got one of them. We got the Lexmark. We got the Lexmark. That's the Xerox that they had over there. That Xerox printed and faxed James Harden that damn contract. Told sign up within 24 hours. Nah, we ain't on no. Nah.
It's and to think that Duke, North Carolina, Kentucky, all three of them on the bubble, same time. It's wild.
At my, have the mighty have fallen.
Yeah. Arizona, I think, needs a couple more wins. They're not quite off. They sort of in. It's crazy times we living in, man.
For that UCLA should be okay.
UCLA should be okay.
Arizona should be okay also.
Michigan State will be there, but they not what we used to.
It's a team making noise though. It's a team making noise that we really ain't talking about. That matter of fact, it's two, and I gotta give them three. First, I'm gonna go with that old man down in Miami, old Larry Nagger, making it happen.
Yeah.
Making it happen. And then Marquette, the resurgence of Shaka in the Big East.
Yeah.
Shaka, wherever he go, he win.
And shout out to Rodney Terry that took over at Texas and had them as a top 10 ball club. And the top of the Big 12 right now.
Yeah.
Like, to come in and take over a team due to something that was out of his control and to still keep those guys connected on the task at hand. I don't know if he qualifies for Coach of the Year. I don't know if they still got the interim tag on him, but he ought to be commended. I hope he could keep the job so he didn't have to, in coaching, you move around, you're liable to have to pick up and go at any moment. But I hope he can keep the job. And if not, I hope he's able to touch whatever he wants after this year. Because he's doing a phenomenal job with that Texas team, keeping those guys together, and they playing elite basketball. I mean, they can mess around and win the Big 12 with an interim coach.
He doing Joe Mazzulla act. Yeah, he Joe Mazzulla college ball, man. I think the Big 12, that's to your point, I think that's going to be the most fun because y'all know me. When it comes to the conference tournament, me and Trav is all about this one bid basketball. Me and Trav is all about this bleacher action, hot dog machine in the corner. We all for that. I think, though, of the bigger conference, I think the Big 12 is going to be I think that tournament.
That's the best. That's the best league in basketball.
The best conference tournament is going to be
Best
the Big 12.
conference. Yeah, I think so.
And it's the best conference in basketball. Because this is the thing about it, and I'm looking at the standings right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 6 teams that are going to the tournament from the Big 12. Right? You have 6 teams, and check this out: the worst team in the league, the worst team in the Big 12 is Oklahoma, and they beat Alabama.
Yeah.
So think about that. But this is they all have legitimate Final Four contenders. TCU, I don't know, they got some injuries, but Kansas is 1, Texas is 2. Those are 2 teams that could legitimately make it to the Final Four. Kansas State, Baylor, which they just had a really big game tonight. Kansas State ended up winning. You got Iowa State that pulled off a magical run last year to the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
So those are 5 teams that can find themselves with the right seeding, the right matchup. Those are 5 teams that can find themselves in the Final Four. Like one or two of those teams, depending on where everyone's at, you could probably see 1 or 2 of these teams in the Final Four. So the Big 12 tournament is and I'll go on out of the limb and say this: whoever wins the Big 12 tournament will go to the Final Four.
Now, before we get off the air, I must ask, Ham, I know you got your camera off. Put your camera back on. If you could just hear me, you can answer the question. I would be remiss if I didn't ask this. And unlike Trick in Detroit, I don't have to check into Memphis because I know Ham. So I'm good. I'm going to ask the question. This was Ham, Trav, you in the Memphis adjacent. You can answer the question. This is like the 4th year in a row. I pick up my bracketology late February, March, and either last 4 out or next 4 out, I see the University of Memphis. Now, it was the sprinters, it was the Hype Williams video, the James Wiseman situation, the home, everything that has come with the Penny Hardaway era. But at what point does we have to start talking about what's happening with the results?
I'm not talking about this shit. It's Keith Sweat time over here. We making that last forever.
Or to your point, Ham, is his legacy, is his aura, is his everything that he means to Memphis basketball culture. He means a ton. I will never disrespect.
It ain't gonna be a fair conversation with me, Big Shot, because I gotta already have a set vibe and feel about the University of Memphis in general. Now, the University of Memphis is a separate entity from Penny Hardaway and the basketball team.
Okay.
Just in general, and not necessarily the history of the basketball team, just the dude that's on the roster. They ain't got nothing to do with what happened in the past in general. You know what I'm saying? So it's like one of them where it's like, now, here's the thing. Even if you have that conversation about the result, like Billy Ray Valentine asked old boy on Trade Places, so what's my next move, man? Don't nobody know.
That's the thing.
Know. Like Billy Ray looked at the driver again and said, "Thank you, you've been helping," in a very sarcastic manner. Because they nobody got no answer.
They have no answer for it.
Because
and plus,
what they go. Let me give it to you, Driver. Because what they go offer, the base is not going to excel. So it's really that real. I don't care how much the chatter is. $5 if they want to. See what happens.
Memphis is enjoying. Memphis, it's not that Memphis is winning. they're enjoying the revenue that is being brought to their school at this moment.
But I do want to say something though. Penny is 105 and 50.
Right.
Senior there. He's made it to the NCAA tournament.
Right.
Won the NIT championship.
Right.
I mean, and this is within the last
4 to 5 years.
You know whose first 5 years that mirrors?
Yeah.
Coach Cal.
And I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at the history of Memphis basketball right now.
So I guess this is my question then. And this is a deeper conversation. If he's that locked in, do the results even matter then?
It don't. At this point, it don't.
To me, they don't.
They don't. It don't. Because again,
they're 20 and 7. They're 20 and look. I just listen. Just hear me out. I just want to go by numbers. I just want to just hear me out. Just hear me out. Okay. So he gets there the first year, 22 and 14, no tournament. The next year's COVID, right? Whole James Wiseman situation. 21 and 10. We kind of then the COVID year, 2021, 28, win the NIT national, win the NIT championship. Last year they make it to the second round, they lose to Gonzaga, which Gonzaga was no slouch. They just came up from being runners up. And this year so far they 20 and 7. But mind you, he's doing this in a league where he has to get through Houston. Now, I will say this. Houston's leaving and going to the Big 12 next year. Now, so it's going to be a shift, but then, they bring in a bunch of teams from Conference USA into the American Athletic Conference, so it should make for, they bring in FAU and North Texas, and, so they bringing in some quality teams. But I think if you're not seeing the championships at that level, then maybe you start saying something. But I will say this though, and I'll end on this. College basketball is hard. Winning in college basketball is hard. Winning is hard. Winning in college basketball is very hard. You put together 5 20-win seasons in your first 5 years, that's pretty good. That's
even with the instability on some ends, you know what I'm saying? And the holes and the misses and the missteps, and you still get 20 each.
In the transfer portal era.
In the portal era. You know what I'm saying? Where stability is just it's not a thing.
Yeah.
You're not going to have, for him to even have a fifth-year guard in his program that he actually saw get better progressively was a luxury in some sense. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, where we saying 20 and 7, people would like to think, well, they should be 25 and 2. Really? Based on what? Because he penny? That's just the hype.
Ain't like he playing.
Right. Ain't like he playing. You know what I'm saying? It's the hype and that's on paper. We get it. But if you want to start that conversation, I'm going to ask the same question that I asked 10 years ago when they was running Josh Past up out of town. Where you go from here?
And where we go from here is next week. Shout out our man, Coach Les. Shout out Trav. Shout out Ham. 94 Feet of Life Facebook group. Subscribe to the page. Notifications on. The race to the finish is on. Basketball for the people.